Hi friends! Finally, we're going to show you how to make paella. It's a favorite dish here in Spain, and we like to make our paella on the terrace, especially on nice days like this. Spring has finally come, and also because we have to use the open flame from our gas barbecue grill. So what you'll need to decide is on what open flame you'll use your cast iron paella pan that I've given you with. So maybe a camping cooker, or if you have gas stove at home, that would be perfect. So we do it outside. Paella, and I think you have heard me tell the story before, is a dish that's attributed to the region of Valencia in Spain, which is the eastern Mediterranean coast, and that's where all the rice fields are. Of course, rice is not endemic to Spain. It was brought from Asia, but it was popularized in the late 1800s as a dish fabricated by the men of Valencia, and they would gather the rice from the fields and the vegetables from the gardens, typical vegetables like green beans and artichokes, peas, and then maybe kill a rabbit on the way, since Roman times España meant country of rabbits. Spain is full of rabbits, and that wasn't an original ingredient, was rabbit. So vegetables and some rabbits and the rice, and of course many people add a Spanish ingredient called saffron, which comes from the crocus flower in La Mancha region, the Midland region of Spain. So saffron or toasted saffron in small quantity can also give a very aromatic flavor. So those are the basic ingredients. This is a paella pan. But the story is that the man would bring the ingredients into his campfire, and since it's a rustic, basic meal with just a very rustic looking pan, nothing special about this other than it's got a large surface area and shallow depth. He would make the food for the wife, and in Spanish that is hago la comida para ella. I make the food for her. I make the meal for her. But in southern Spain and in lots of places in Spain, we have a funny way of talking, and we truncate the words and have a southern twang. So it turns out that it is hago la comida pa ella. So instead of para ella, we say pa ella. For you, para ti. For me, para mí. Pa ti, pa mí, pa ella. I make the food for her. Hago la comida pa ella. So that's where some people believe the name originated from. Cut. So in order to make your own stock, we have some ingredients here. This is something that you don't have to make on your own. You can buy soup stock in the grocery store, but it's the base of the recipe, and it's to make the meal more savory. If you didn't have time to do this, and you didn't even have store-bought stock, you don't have to worry. You can make paella with just water, but this is going to be more flavorful. So we just have water in a pot boiling, and when it comes to a boil, I'm going to add these ingredients here, which are a leek, 1 carrot, a piece of onion. You don't need to use a whole onion for the flavor to come, and a drumstick, chicken drumstick, that we've chopped up just so they fit better in the pot, but it doesn't matter because we're essentially just taking the flavor from these things. So we don't put any salt in the water because we're going to adjust the level of salt in the paella later. So this is just for flavor purposes. And there goes the water now, so I'll put in my vegetables.
And for how long? Will it like 15 minutes maybe?
Yeah, I think 15 minutes, although it's not an exact science,
okay.
But 15 minutes should be good.
Okay.
Okay, so Ricardo said I was talking too much about the story of paella, so let's cut to the chase, the ingredients. We decided today to make a meat paella, meat-based paella, and we have chosen chicken drumstick, just one, and it's chopped up here. And also pork ribs, and they've also been chopped up. We estimate and recommend about 100 grams per person of meat, or Ricardo says 150 if it has bones. So 150 grams per person of the meat is enough. Then the rice, and the rice is also about the same measurement, about 100 grams per person. So, sorry, you'll have to convert that into ounces. But the rice can be, if you don't have specific paella rice sold in the store, risotto rice is fine. In fact, it can be any short grain rice. Long grain rice is too fragrant and aromatic, like basmati for Indian food doesn't work here. So we need a short grain rice, and we'll also have to pay attention closely to the recommendation of water ratio to that specific grain of rice. For short grain rice, it should be something between 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. So for every 1 cup of rice, at least 2, maybe 3 cups of water, and that's for cooking the rice. We also have 1 tomato that has been grated, and I know John and Kim like this trick for also putting it on their breakfast toast. So we have grated with a regular cheese grater 1 tomato, and that's what we have here. We have diced 1 clove of garlic. We have a few fistfuls, well, a fistful per person of green beans, the round beans, and Ricardo has cut them on the diagonal like he usually does. So again, the quantities for the vegetables is not exact, but it's to your liking. Then we have salt, and we have paprika. Paprika, it's important that you get one that is not spicy, that is more mild, okay? With paella, you can either do a meat paella or a fish paella. Meat paella can handle a stronger or smoked paprika, but don't go too spicy. If you do a fish paella or a seafood paella, it's important that it's a mild paprika and that it's not smoky or spicy. So a smoky paprika is fine, but as long as it's not spicy. And then we have, for our special trick that we like to do at the end, a sprig of rosemary, and we'll show you how we implement that to add even another depth of flavor. So, shall we start?